Hey guys, it's Sandeep from RevAtlas, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the OPPO Enco W31, which is their truly wireless earphone that's available at a price point of Rs 3,999. Now I really love this, and I'm going to be talking about why I'm going to be recommending this to most people, especially in this price segment, and what's making them special and better than the competitors as well. Now before we get this started, please do make sure to hit the subscribe button and also turn on notifications for more videos like this. Now let's begin the video. Now the case itself is very simple. It's available in two different colors. It's an understated design that comes in white as well as black, and it's very pebble-like in terms of the overall shape and the footprint as well. I would have liked to see maybe a grey color variant with a sandstone sort of finish, because that will actually give it the closest resemblance to a pebble to say, but overall I really like the way that it looks and feels, and it's also extremely pocketable considering the size. At the front you have a slight indent to allow you to open the case itself, while at the back you have the USB Type-C port. Now this does not support wireless charging, although considering the shape and the premium feel, it definitely is something that you wish had wireless charging, but again, considering the price point, it's also excusable for not having that particular feature. Now once you open it, what happens is that it actually shows up on devices that have support for it. So it shows up like you see on Apple devices, and here you can see that the case itself has 60% of charge, while there's 100% of charge on each of the earbuds. Now there is also a pairing button and LED indicator here in order to notify you of the charge levels and the connection status, etc. So it's very simple to pair, especially on devices that support it. And you also get wear detection with these. So as you can see, there are sensors on both of the earbuds which actually detect whether you're wearing them or not, and accordingly play or pause the music. Now this is actually a great feature to have, but in the case of these particular earbuds, they are very necessary to have, because there is no way that you can play or pause the music without actually making use of the wear detection. Now that is a big con, and perhaps the only deal breaker that I would say for these particular pair of earphones. So while there are touch sensitive pads on both the earbuds, this actually does not allow you to play or pause using those. So on the right earbud, what happens is if you double click it, it takes you to the next song, while if you triple click, it brings up the assistant as well. On the left earbud, you can double click to change the audio mode, that is from a balanced or bass mode. You can choose between the two and toggle between it by double clicking, or again triple tapping brings up the assistant. But if you want to play or pause something, you simply have to take it out of your ear, and that can be annoying for some. For me it's still fine, because I almost always carry my phone with me and I control most of the things using my phone, even though I personally have touch controls on the other thing. I still prefer to use my phone. So that way for me it's not a deal breaker, but for some it could be. So I thought it's definitely worth mentioning. Now the design of these earphones themselves are actually quite simple, and it's not very conventional. If you look at the ear tips itself, it's very similar to the Enco M31 in terms of the size and the overall look and feel, except that there are stems here which extend downwards, and these stems themselves have like rounded edges here, as well as flat sides and a flat back as well. But the main advantage of the stem design is the fact that the call quality is much better. So while testing, definitely I was able to get much better results with these particular pair compared to some of the other TWS models available. And while the party at the other end could tell that I was using a speaker or an external device to basically talk to them, it was still very crisp and clear, and not many issues with outside noise or any other sort of interferences overall. In terms of the range, these are Bluetooth 5.0 earphones that support up to 10 meters, and I was able to go pretty much around my entire house except the corners, and I would say the coverage is around 10% better than most other earphones in this particular price segment. But now coming to what I loved most about this, and that is the comfort and the audio quality itself. Now the comfort is excellent, considering that these are in-ear and it doesn't just hang by the tip of your earlobe or something like that. So it's going inside, going into your ear canal, giving you a sealed fit that also isolates the outside sound. So while there's no active noise cancellation, it actually cancels out most of the outside noise. And if you're in a relatively less noisy environment, or even a very noisy environment, it still does cut out some of the outside noise, which also means you don't have to pump up the volume beyond a certain extent unless it's that noisy. So this also means that you get to extend your battery life when you're actually using it. So the case itself has a 350 mAh battery, while each of these ear tips have 25 mAh battery inside them, and OPPO claims that you can get up to 15 hours using the case as well, and it takes 2.5 hours to charge this. And they also claim a charge or rather battery life of 3.5 hours with each earphone. Now OPPO says that the entire package weighs in at 50 grams, which is including the earphones and the case itself. In our testing we got close to 51 grams, considering that each of the earphones weigh slightly over 4 grams each and the case itself weighs 43 grams. Still, it's more or less similar to the official specifications. Now in our testing we got around 3.5 to 4 hours, but that also depends on the kind of content that you consume, be it videos, be it for calling, be it for music or for gaming. Now for gaming, the latency was low enough that we can actually recommend this for gaming. It was great for video watching. There was no much issue with sync or voice delay, etc. It was great for music as well, and I would say it's one of the best in this particular price range, or one of the best even for a TWS earphone overall. And it only comes second to perhaps the Enco M31 itself, which is another product from OPPO that does just better simply because it has larger drivers, better audio quality overall. In the balance mode, you get very balanced bass as the name implies, but if you switch to the bass mode, you get much heavier bass, much more punch with it. But still, overall the dynamic range is good, the soundstage is good, albeit not quite as wide as the Enco M31 itself. Overall, it's a very comfortable earphone, great sound quality, very practical, and the only major con I can think of is again the play pause button. And I would say if you're looking for an earphone between 3,999, which is the price point, and say 5,000 rupees, this is still one of the best options that you can buy. So I'm really impressed by this, and I would definitely recommend this as a TWS earphone, especially below 5,500 rupees. Above that, there are a few other options that come into the picture which may or may not be better for your use depending on your requirements as well. But overall, a very solid attempt by OPPO, and I really like this. Thanks for watching this video. We'll include a purchase link below in case you want to buy this. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you again in the next one.